and I am the founder and person for the Healing Path Conversation Series and Dancing with Ease Body Brain Balance. People hire me to teach them to move out of pain and into healing. These conversations with friends and colleagues offer many perspectives on healing. And the thing that we have in common is the concept that healing begins inside ourselves with the decision to heal, and it expands outward from there. My guest today will be Jessy George, and I'll bring her on the camera here, and she can tell you a little bit about herself.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. And thanks for having me. My name is Jessy George, like Laura said. I Professional women hire me to have a healthy lifestyle, balance their hormones, balance their life, and learn how to eat better so that they can live longer, age healthfully. That's what I am.
I love it. I love it. And it's so perfect that you could come on today and talk about sugar and reducing cravings. I had done a little series of easing through the holidays. And one of the things I talked about is how we get off balance from all the holiday energy and the holiday foods. I mean, they're celebration foods, right? But too much sugar really messes me up energetically, how I feel, just not even about how if I gain weight or not. It's the up and the down that comes from sugar. So I'm so glad that you can share a little bit and that we can also share about your upcoming, starting today, challenge.
Yeah, the challenge. Yeah.
So why don't you give us a little bit of history about you and why you do this challenge?
Yeah, I'm an electrical engineer by profession. Then I came to US and took my master's in engineering management, studied computer science, then worked as a software engineer for many years. Then in 2017, I lost my job, but not just the job. Along with that, I lost my confidence, my self-esteem. I was just felt like I was not good anymore for anything because I was a hardworking mom, always running after kids, their soccer practice, this and that. I never took care of me. So that was like a wake up call for me to just reevaluate my life, analyze my values and desires and purpose and passion. It was like a lot of self searching, soul searching, whatever you call them. It was a journey in my life. I think God brought it as the right time before I became worse because I was diabetic, obese, I would say overweight, not like heavy overweight, but I was above my BMI and had high blood pressure, asthma, allergies. I was just emotionally, physically, spiritually, were not in the right place at that time. But being a Christian, being a believer, being knowing that God is in control of our life, I was able to go back and analyze my life, reframe my things. Then I wrote down a lot of things, to what I want exactly in my life, how I want to live the rest of my life. It was not about just making money. It was more about living a meaningful life at that time. My children are now 18 and above, so I have more time to think about me and create a life that is more meaningful to me. So it's a daily work. It is not like set it and forget because we have so much in ourselves that we need to understand us more than anything else. How we react. Are we say we have a value, but are we living up to that value? All this comes with the consciousness and awareness and thoughts, which we have to work on it every day. So my challenge is called the Crush Your Cravings Challenge. It can be any cravings. My passion is to teach people about eating better, right? That's why I named it like that. It could have been a new year, new you challenge, whatever it is. The principle is same. The name is just crush your cravings. It can be any cravings, a craving to watch TV continuously, or scrolling through social media, or craving for smoking. It is about your weakness, how we can overcome that by micro improvements. That's what I call them.
I love that. Those
Yeah,
little tiny changes, which is so much better than, like, waking up on January 1st and saying, I'm cutting sugar absolutely out of my diet. Well, that's a setup for failure, right?
that's right. Yeah, nothing is, in today I put shared a quote today from Jim Rohn saying, life is hard. Nobody said it's easy, but there are simple steps that we can take to make the hard things work, like scheduling things, declaring that we are worthy enough and we are our own create the create not creator, creating what we want in our life. We are in control of things, how we think, how we act, how we behave. Those are more important than anything else. First, we need to understand why are we doing this. Why power, I call them. When we know our real why, we will commit to anything to achieve that, right? We know, like if somebody offered you a Tesla, now one of the best cars, right? Somebody told you, if you come work 30 days every day morning at 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., while everybody's sleeping, I'll give you this car free. Would you do it? Most of us would say, I will, because the value of the car. But remember, our life is more valuable than anything else. We only live once. If we run after money, we won't have much joy or in living. But that's how we take action. Like for example, so when we make this, if anybody is going through this challenge, I want you to think your life is more valuable than that Tesla that I talked about. And this life is, or this program is like $100,000, then you take the action. You gotta first tell your brain, this is it's an opportunity for me to create a new life, and I'm going to take any action that I can, as we go through the challenge, and create a plan for my life. That's what it's about. That's all we need. Simple steps. Create a plan. If we can stick to it, then we can create lifestyle that more empowering, more feeling more worthy and satisfied,
Well, and more joyful. We were
more
talking
joyful. Yeah, joy. Joy is my word for the year. Like I when I set a word, for me is stepping into that identity of the new person. So I think, what would bring joy? Will it bring joy? Then no, I don't want to do it now. Disappointments are part of life, but how do we overcome it? What is more important? Is somebody's uh, judgment, criticism, surrendering to that, or looking within and seeing how great you are? That doesn't matter. We, as adults and 50 and above, for our life purpose is different than the younger generation. For us, we need a happy, pleasant, joyful life to enjoy things in right now, right? Our children, grandchildren, or whatever, maybe
well, and joy
social,
it's different for each person,
each person. Yeah.
and uh, sometimes I think about well, I think I told you this before. I tell people sugar is my drug of choice. It's a really quick, fast high, and if I need to get through something, I'm running low. Like if I'm in the city and I'm commuting and I need to get the train and I got to run fast. If I would grab something sweet, I would have this burst of energy, and I'd get up there and get on the ferry, and then I would be like, oh, I'm so exhausted. And the down, it was always further down than the up, and the took me a long time actually to figure out that if when I had that low feeling, I had protein, instead of sugar, I felt better. It was not as fast a burst of energy, but it was a more sustained energy. And so then, in terms of joy, do I want to be on this roller coaster? Zim, 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 zim. Because, when you get down low, then, okay, well, then what do? You have more sugar because you need one. Yeah, it's just silly. But,
That's so right. That's so right. So I want to tell you an example from my life over the holidays. My son got married in December.
ah,
So I gave myself permission to enjoy some cake for the wedding. But then what happened is, you know, I mean, I'm very moderate. It's not like I chow down on anything. But then what happened is then we had a guest. Then there was like this cold storm came through, so people could not leave, so they stayed back. So that there were more food items that was not serving the purpose for me. When just me and husband, I don't cook anything that um, doesn't serve us, right? But for other people, youngsters and little ones, they all need different type of food. Again, we all have different likings and everything, right? We all eat different types of food, all those things. So I had to accommodate all those things. So so it was a little hard for me to keep going in my path. um, but I turned around and I talked to myself and I said, it's okay, you can ask somebody to taste if you want instead of me tasting everything. So I just turned around a little bit, and I got off of all those emotions and whatever that was talking to me, and now back to normal. But when you go give permission for something, then taking it back takes sometimes a little time to deal with the emotions that came by, the feelings, uh, you started liking all of a sudden things you didn't taste before.
right, right. So there is the physical habit, right? And this is one of the things I think is really good about your micro steps, micro changes, is that I didn't really understand this, but a long time ago, when I was in my 20s, I went to a nutritionist and she said, if you have coffee and a donut at 10 in the morning, 2 days in a row, on the third day, if you plan not to have it, your body is craving it at that time because it it's like, wait, she was giving me this boost. Where's my boost? And I was like, wow, like 2 days I can make a sugar habit. And so then if you think about it, I was when I was making our description for this class, or this talk, I was saying, well, really, the whole sugar thing starts with Halloween because people buy a bunch of candy, then they have too much candy, and then they take it to work and they put it out, and then it's just sitting there. And then, so easy to go by and grab a little tiny, what are those things? Chocolate bar, or, little, and suddenly you're halfway through November and you've started a sugar habit before Thanksgiving, when you're going to have pies and dessert and goodies for Thanksgiving. And then you head right into Christmas with all of the parties. So do you have like tips that you use? Like if you're going to go to holiday parties or things, do you take little extra? I used to take food with me that I knew I could eat so that I wasn't feeling deprived, but that I was giving myself something that I knew was good for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of tips. Like you said, for me, when I think about the sugar holidays doesn't start just in November, September or November. I mean, it's throughout the year, right? Because right
Oh,
now we are in the New Year party still going on. Then comes Valentine's Day, then comes Easter, then comes Memorial Day. Then we have parties, summer parties, and then ends with Labor Day parties, and everybody want to celebrate everything. That's the world we live in USA, because everything is a celebration with food. I'm not saying food is not important, but consciously we can make healthier choices. So you asked about tips. One of the tips is yes, if you know that you are going to be going for a party, make something, that is, if it is a potluck, make a food that you can eat and take it and let them taste. And then, you don't need to eat a whole lot of the other food. Of course, it's okay to taste and enjoy company with others. And other, if you're not going for a potluck, the choice is to eat something before you go or take something with you in your bag and eat just before you go into step into that environment. Okay. So you know how long you're going to be there, how long you can last with the food you took, or keep something in the bag, a cheese stick or as small as a beef, stick that you can make, or buy 100% beef if you're buying that, or cheese stick, or some carrots, or some celery, or whatever your favorite food is. Keep some in your bag. You can even go to the bathroom and eat. Worst case, I'm saying worst case, but you can always go to your car, say, I forgot something in the car. I can just go to the car and then, or you can say, I need to just, you don't need to explain to anybody. I just have to go to my car. If they ask something, then you can think about it. Otherwise, you don't need to lie. I just need to go to my car.
Right.
You
Or,
know,
and depending on where you are, like
yeah,
with my
yeah,
family, I can
yeah,
tell them, I'm only having one piece of dessert
yeah, yeah,
because that's all I'm having, and
yeah.
they'll be
That's
fine.
fine. And
But other places, other social things, you want to take care of. I want to take care of myself without making people feel bad about themselves. And this is funny. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and we were whining about the price of butter.
oh yeah, it's going up so egg son goes so crazy
Excuse
here.
me. Yeah, and it's going up really high. And
Yeah,
we both cook with butter, and we both use butter instead of margarine because
yeah, I do too.
it's better for you, right? And so we were talking about this, and she goes, "Well, my mom. I think my mom used margarine." I said, "Don't do that." She said, "I know I haven't used margarine for like 35 or 40 years," and I'm like, "Don't go back." She said, "Well, what do you use in your cookies?" And I'm like, "I don't make cookies anymore. I love cookies, and actually, cookies are uh, they're like my favorite thing. Cookies, they're my favorite thing."
Yeah, yeah.
And but I don't have any kids. I don't have any grandkids. I said, my husband actually, he doesn't like white flour and sugar.
Hmm.
Things made together. He just doesn't like it. Okay, how weird is that? But helpful to me to be able to cook healthy because his preferred things are vegetables and meat
Yeah,
and not very much starch. And that's what actually makes me happy. But I I do something I call sugar sneak and carb creep.
great. Yeah, yeah. That we give permission for that. It's just hard. So it's better not to give that permission and keep ourselves aware of the dangers, right? So another thing we can do to prevent, going to the parties and stuff, and really um, going too much into the sugar. It's one is called the 3-bite rule. 3-bite rule is like eat one bite of a food and just to realize whether you like it or not. If you like it, you can enjoy one more bite by real all five senses using enjoy it. Then another bite more and say bye bye to it. That doesn't mean you have to try each and every item using that rule. No, and you don't need to take big bites. This is to mindfully understand if this is something going to work for you, want to eat, and how it's going to affect. Then another thing you can do is play the mind movie. Mind movie is like, say, there are two options you can do. You can say, if you stayed healthy on course, think about all the things you can do without having to worry about your health. Like, but what if you enjoyed all those things and in few years you have an organ damage or a losing of an organ or some wounds won't heal? All those things, which way you want to go? Just keep repeating that in your head and compare the options. That's the worst case you can do, right? To yourself. We're doing it to ourselves by eating and enjoying the food and thinking like it's okay, saying us, giving us permission. That means we're talking to us every time. We have, they say, researchers say we have more than 200 thoughts about food alone every day.
Oh my goodness.
But what about the other things we think about? So it's continuously telling yourself what is good for you and how create some values in your life, and then see how you can bring joy, like you say, by honoring your values.
Oh, that's really a good piece of information.
Yeah.
I'm
So
going to move this little thing up here, just so you know, so that I moved it up here so it goes out of the
mhm,
view of our thing.
mhm.
Now I'm
Yeah,
going to put the
yeah,
challenge again
yeah,
for
yeah,
people, and I'll put it in the description. It's in the description, and I'll put it down in the comments from the videos so that people can find it.
yeah,
What I did the challenge before, I think in
yeah,
June.
yeah, yeah.
And what's really nice is it is very simple and step by step. And what else do I want to say? Well, and fun. I mean, you're fun. You're you do this in a joyful way so that it can become. I know what I was thinking. Is like people like, well, I have to take care of myself, and it becomes a burden, right? What if it's a joy to
That's
take care of
right.
yourself? And I mean, really, we only get one body. And when the body is worn out, I'm sorry, we have to leave. you know, we don't get to stick here without our body. And so if we wanted to be here and be happy and joyful and participate in events with our families, with our friends, then the best thing we can do is to care and nurture our body. And food is the way to do that. And
Food
so
and
I
yeah, emotions too. Yeah. So if you had a chance to ask one question to yourself, the best question to ask is, if you don't take care of your body, who will? You
right.
know, as women, we always want to take care of others, and we go above and beyond taking care of family. It's not that we don't have to, but first take care of us. Even the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. But if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody more than you do, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
and you can't take care of anybody if your health is compromised,
that's right.
and so I'm very excited to join you this time again for the
Yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
And I think it's a good time of year, right, to get. There's a little 6-week space before the next sugar rush of Valentine's Day.
Right.
And what if we ask for something besides chocolates for Valentine's Day? What would be nicer,
A massage, something gives you more emotional and physical satisfaction, not just like food, Yeah,
So there's plenty of time to do the challenge and then implement the things you're going to teach us in the
yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
And it started today, but there's time. If people sign up now, they'll get the first email and just jump right in, right?
The email, first email won't go out, but when they sign up, where they sign up into my course platform. Everything will be there for them. And
So
I
they
have
can
not
find that
uploaded.
one.
I'll upload the video from morning into evening there, but it's already available on Facebook. And then I download it and upload. I just had to come to work, so I didn't get to do that yet. But
It'll be there. It'll all be there. And
mhm.
tips and tools. That you had a really wonderful recipe for turkey at Thanksgiving, which
Yeah.
oh, I didn't make it yet, but I read it 5 or 6 times. And I imagined how good it would be with all those spices. And so I really am excited, especially since we know I have a sugar deal, and I get good at it, and then I slide off, and then I get better at it, and I slide off again. And so that's another reason that I'm glad you run this challenge. Is it's a refresher for me to uh, remember all the good and healthy things I
Mhm.
like to do.
Yeah, yeah. I can share a nice recipe with artificial sweetener like stevia.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more, it's sweet, but it's not like um, that creates any imbalance. Especially, depends on each person. Or monk fruit, which I enjoy. You can use real chocolate like cocoa powder to get that, the bitterness of the chocolate, if that's what you enjoy, not the sweetness. Then and then you can make like a sweet recipe. Actually, I posted one brownie recipe online already. Any of those things, I have more recipes that you can instantly create. um, you know
And so, did you make these up
yeah.
like practice and
Oh yeah. Yeah, I make, like, just, during the holidays, I wanted something sweet. Like when everybody ate, I made a dessert with a little bit of almond flour, cocoa powder, cream cheese, and sour cream. Mix them all up. No need to cook or anything. I didn't put egg or anything, just that. And refrigerate it, then cut into pieces, and eat some when I wanted.
awesome.
Yeah, nut butters like almond butter. Eat in limited quantities, not like, it goes well with cream cheese,
Ah, interesting.
nut
Yeah.
butters. So you can mix it up with cream cheese. Cream cheese is one of the dairy food that I take. I don't drink milk or anything, but yeah, if I really need something to satisfy me while everybody around me is eating sugar, so things like that.
Well, no, this is important to have substitute treats
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
that satisfy you. And
that's
one
right.
of the things I really really like about your approach is it's not about denial and it's not about rigid rules. It's it's about choices,
Making good choices. You're right. Choice
and
is what gives freedom.
it's about being aware. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, to take one bite of something and really savor it.
Mm-hmm.
Did I really need to eat six cookies? Or if I ate one little cookie and really tasted it, would that be sufficient?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there is something about sugar, I think, that after you swallow it, you want more. There
The,
is
the, the tongue has that receptor that keeps on telling you that you want more. Even after I eat some spicy food, I feel like I need to have something else in your mouth to taste that taste off, right?
right.
Things like that. But yeah, I tell myself that's enough. You did enough. You enjoyed your food. Yeah, you don't need another treat right now. Yeah, we talk to each other, me and myself. And of course, there'll be some fruit on the counter, like orange and pear and things like that. Me and husband share. Um, we don't eat a whole fruit. We just share them a little bit. Things like, there are other options that we can do, healthier approaches like berries. They bring sweetness, but it has more fiber and
Well,
yeah,
and it's natural,
natural. Yeah,
so that
and
the body can process
mhm,
it better
mhm.
and
Yeah,
faster. One of the things I try to stay away from is preservatives, which is
yeah,
another reason I like a lot of your recipes because they use real food.
yeah. So, for example, when season comes for strawberry or blueberry or other berries, you can, mash them up with some cream cheese, and if it is tart, add a little, stevia or monk fruit, mix them up, again refrigerate it. It automatically can be enjoyed as a popsicle or whatever the way you want. you know if you want to freeze it, you can suck on it and, slowly. Otherwise, refrigerate, you can scoop and eat, like, whichever way you want. There is lots of options and possibilities. I teach all those things in my class, and, by God's grace, it comes naturally for me. I feel like I'm creating things every day rather than just repeating a recipe. But, that's how I reframe myself, because my husband says, you made it last time, but it was a little different. Yeah, that's okay. I'm recreating things every day in a different way.
And so, is your husband healthier now too, since you have
He
changed?
is. Oh, he's always been, he plays soccer, tennis, and he's more active and athletic than me.
Right, right. But I mean, but because you cook for the
Oh,
house
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
he's eating your
Yeah, we just eat the same thing. Yeah. If he needs a little more carbohydrate or something, then he goes for soccer and stuff. I make for him special food for him to have that energy because he goes to play. He needs more energy when he goes outside to play.
Right, right. To more calories to burn and things
Yeah,
like
yeah. So healthier options like, potatoes, sweet potatoes, other whatever, yeah.
that. Yeah, but sweet potatoes are one of my favorite too.
Yeah, me too. But again, I have that once I start it, I want to have more. But so I only make a little bit. So I'd finish it up that night. No saving things to go back to.
Ah, right. A lot of times I do with my sweet potatoes, I cook them again in the morning with eggs. I scramble them with eggs.
Huh.
And so then they're used up. But I can get two meals out of them. And so,
Ah, we do it with a chili pepper sauce.
oh, nice.
Chili, hot chili, sliced very thin, or in the food processor or something, chop it up, with some onion and salt. That's it.
Oh, nice. Very
Salt,
nice.
onion, and chili pepper. And then if it's really nice and spicy, it goes very well with the sweet potato when you boil them.
Ah, right, right. Well, I will be seeing you in the Facebook group, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah.
forward to kind of resetting
That's right.
my my body. I don't know what it is. Resetting my body. I mean, this is what I said. Like we get out of alignment. It happens. We get out of alignment, and then we have the opportunity to move back into alignment. And a lot of times we learn more by making a mistake and coming back. And so uh, I don't think I made a lot of mistakes over the holiday, but I do have this thing where one day I'll do this. You know what else? Not getting too tired.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I've worked all afternoon and I haven't had anything to eat, and I stop at the store on my way home. That is not the best routine because right there, checking out is Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh no! So I try really hard to be nice to myself, right? And to take care of myself and to not beat myself up when I goof up, which is part of what you teach too. You say, well, you made that choice, now you can make a new choice. Every moment we can choose again. And so if the last moment we goofed up, okay, well, we just leave that in the past and now make a better choice. So I'm so glad that you're doing the challenge. I'm so glad that you could come on today and share about that and share about your joy in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. That was amazing. Thank you.
So take good care. And like I said, I'll see you in the Facebook group.
Okay.